When I first saw the AirPods, I made a promise that I'll never wear anything with a stem in my ear because of how ridiculous it looks, and yet, here we are. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video where I'll be sharing my experience with not one but two TWS, which is the Soundpeats Air3 Deluxe and the Capsule3 Pro. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Soundpeats for sending these units in exchange for my honest feedback, but rest assured they will have no influence over anything and all thoughts and opinions are my own. If you've been enjoying my content and would like to support the channel further, please do consider hitting the like and subscribe button, and do consider checking out my Patreon page. So I've decided to pair both of these TWS earbuds into one video because they both have very similar functions and features with one big difference, which is their sound performance. But let's talk about accessories and design first. In terms of accessories, you're simply going to get a short cable for charging and the earbuds themselves for both. So don't be expecting a grand unboxing experience here, but for the Capsule3 Pro you have some interchangeable ear tips as well. In terms of design, starting with the case, imagine an AirPod case but in matte black and having the Soundpeats wording at the back. That pretty much sums up the Soundpeats case design, but small and compact. Open the case up and you've got the earbuds themselves with enough space to take them out. Yes, I'm looking at you, Gravastar Series Pro, take note. The Capsule3 Pro is a little bigger in its size, but still within the compact territory. For the earbuds themselves, imagine again the AirPods for the Air3, and the biggest difference is that the Air3 is like the original AirPods with no ear tips, and the Capsule3 Pro is like the AirPods Pro with the silicone ear tips. And this makes a huge difference in sound, more on that later. If you like a little bit more flair, then the Capsule3 Pro looks slightly better with that copper accent, whereas the Air3 just looks like a plain old black AirPods. Just running through its functions and features, most importantly, the battery life. The Air3 Deluxe has a battery life of about 5 hours on single use, and with the case you get a total of about 20 hours. The Capsule3 Pro gives you an 8 hours of single usage and a total of 52 hours with the case, and this just floors the Air3 Deluxe and also the Gravastar Series Pro. And this plays a huge factor in making it as your daily driver. So if battery life is of any importance, it's very clear which one you're going to pick here. They both have an IPX4 rating, which means you can sweat on them, but don't be dunking into pools with them anytime soon. For the touch controls, they both have the same controls except for one, but there's a lot to remember, so it might take a while to get used to them, so let's get through them. Tapping the right earbuds once will bring the volume up. Tapping the left once will bring it down. Tapping either one of the earbuds twice will play, pause the track, or can be used to answer or end calls. Tapping the right side 3 times will bring up voice assistance. Tapping the left side will toggle or exit game mode. Right hold for 1.5 seconds will forward the track or can be used to reject an upcoming call from your boss. Hold on the left for 1.5 seconds for previous track and also reject call. Hold either side for 2 seconds will switch between 2 calls. I guess this will work if you have multiple calls going at once. The only difference between the Air3 and Capsule3 Pro controls is pressing the left earbud for 1.5 seconds. On the Air3, it's previous track or reject call. On the Capsule3 Pro, however, it's toggling between ANC mode, so they have pass-through, full ANC, or normal mode. So yes, the Capsule3 Pro comes with an active noise cancelling, whereas the Air3 does not. Speaking of ANC performance, it's passable. I normally don't use ANC a lot, so I'm either on pass-through or normal mode, and on pass-through the surrounding sounds were enhanced a little bit too much, where things felt like they're right there at your face where in reality they're much further away, so normally I will simply stick with the normal mode personally. The Capsule3 Pro uses a slightly smaller driver, about 12mm, as opposed to a 14mm driver on the Air3. They both support LDAC and they both can be EQ'd using their own Soundpeats app, which you can install where you can EQ these earbuds to suit your sound preference. It's not the most responsive app I've tried, and I mostly use it for EQ, which I feel is the main purpose of this app. However, I'm going to describe how they sound out of the box. However, know that you can tweak it ever so slightly here, but it won't deviate too much from its original sound. For fit and comfort, the Capsule3 Pro fits my ear a lot better and much more secure ear due to that silicone ear tips. And for the Air 3, I keep having that feeling like it's about to drop anytime soon, and there's a lot of space left in my ear. Maybe the Air 3 would suit smaller sized ears, but if you want more security in wearing either one of these, the Capsule 3 Pro will give you that. Of course, there's only so much you can do with the Air 3 Deluxe unless the semi-open design somehow fits perfectly in your ear and creates a seal. Then you'd probably be having a different experience. But if, like me, if you can't get a good seal, then the following will be the sound experience of the Soundpeats Air 3. The sound on the Air 3 Deluxe just didn't suit me at all. Since there's not much seal, bass was leaking, it wasn't tight, punchy, and it's missing a lot of note weight. Treble was sharp and splashy. It was overall for me not a good experience, especially for sound performance. So if you care at all about music, just move past this and let's talk about its bigger brother. The sound from the Capsule 3 Pro were, in my humble opinion, leaps and bounds better in terms of audio presentation compared to the Air 3, which proves the theory that seal is ever so important. Let's dive deeper into the sound. For bass, there's a lot of meat in that bass. It was thick, heavy, and the rumble coming from the sub bass just gives that bass note a little bit more texture. It's nice to hear, however, when it comes to impact and slam, you hear its impact, it's hard and powerful, but it sounds a little distant, so it just comes off a little short from being immersive. It is, however, enough to keep tracks engaging and keep your toes tapping. For mid-range, the bass does contribute in giving the vocals a little bit of weight and thickness, thus giving it a little bit of warm and lush presentation, but it's on the verge of being a little bit too thick. But it's very track and volume dependent, more on that later. As an overall presentation, the vocals and the background music are on the same plane, so it's the usual all-in-one space presentation. For treble on the Soundpeats Capsule 3 Pro scales with volumes, which means the higher you increase your volume, the sharper the treble will be. My preference would be about around 80% volume. At maximum volume, the treble is simply splashy and sharp. At around 50 to 60%, treble is too subdued or recessed, but if you prefer a smoother presentation, that'll be your setting. But at 80%, the sound just opens up. Vocals sounded clear, trumpets regained their power and attack instead of sounding muffled, so you do have to adjust the volume to suit your needs on how you like your sound to be. For imaging and resolution, so as I've mentioned earlier, the amount of treble presence is affected by the volume, so the more treble presence just opens up the sound and make details much more distinct. Otherwise, it would sound a little too congested or enveloped by all that bass. Left and right sound positioning are average, so it's good to have the sharp attack to help with the positions of sounds and instruments. Cymbal strikes, claps, depending on the level, will either get lost in the track or be a part of it. I've tried switching between music and gaming mode, but to be honest, it was really hard to tell the difference if there was any. If anything, the volume affects the sound a lot more than the music or gaming mode. So in summary, I think it's pretty clear which one would be my personal choice. And if you've somehow skipped till the end and missed everything earlier, for my experience, the Capsule 3 Pro is the better choice in almost every way, be it features, functions, fit and comfort, and most importantly, sound. The Air 3 may suit people with smaller ears or one who doesn't really care much about sound performance. Then sure, the cheaper option may be appealing. But for everything else, the Soundpeats Capsule 3 Pro is the way to go for me personally. However, these are simply based on one man's opinions and I'm curious to know yours. Do you have the Soundpeats Capsule 3 Pro or the Air 3? And what would be your personal preference? Comment below, let me know, and once again, thank you to Soundpeats and most importantly, to all of you for watching. Till the next experience, take care.